Okay, good morning. As it says on the tin, my name is David Haskins from Ballast Products. Just a quick background to myself. I've been in the industry about 24, 25 years. Do I know it all? No, not even close. Will I ever know it all? No, but I think that's the wonderful thing about our industry. It's continuously changing. There's always going to be something else or something new that comes along, whether it's legislation or an invasive pest. So if you do ask a question and I don't know the answer, I will take your details and I will get back to you. Okay? Just a quick show of hands. Anyone here not had any experience with EFKs? Ooh. So we're all quite au fait, apart from Ellen at the back. Okay, another show of hands. Who has heard or read that UVA ultraviolet lamps will be banned next year? No? Wow. I'm impressed. Because I was going to say, if that is the case, there's a lot of scaremongering going on. We've heard press saying next year, 2023, that all UV lamps are going to be banned. Everyone's losing their heads. I'm here to tell you, my friends, that's not the case. I'm going to break it down, talking about the future of lamps and where the confusions come from and where we are and where we will be for the supply of lamps. So, as always, it's always complicated. I've tried to break it down in sort of bite-sized chunks. So I think this is where the confusion has come from. So from February to August next year, the manufacture or import of, this is very important, white light is being banned. Okay, so retailers can still hold them and still sell them, but we are talking about white light. UVA lamps is what we supply and Barrettine supply. There's some UVA lamps basically falls under something called specialist lighting, which has exemptions. Okay, so it's broken down into single-ended compact fluorescent lamps. Okay, so as of 2025, the manufacture and import of UV single-ended lamps will be banned. Okay, we can still sell them. Barrettine can still sell them. You can still sell them. You can still use them. There's no use-up date. Okay, so we can get to 2025. We could hold 3 years stock, no problem at all. So we've got a bit of a buffer on single-ended traditional lamps. Now there's a further extension on double linear fluorescent lamps until 2027. So these bad boys here. Having spoken to a lot of the manufacturers, they're actually going to be consolidating their work efforts to actually produce more UVA lamps. So hopefully that has sort of given you a bit of information of where we are, and this is the facts of obviously the supply. So again, we can still sell thereafter, but it's the import and manufacture. Bear with me on this. I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole, but there is a reason why I'm going to go down this avenue. Anyone in the audience know if I say something called a ballast or a driver? Anyone? Anyone? Charles? Exactly right, it's that white job. No, yeah, no, it is. It's basically in the machine, and it basically, there's two different names, ballast or a driver. It pulls in and regulates the power to the lamps. Okay, so without a ballast, the light or the UV would brighten up and then blow. So it regulates. So it's very, very important. Again, bear with me. First of all, we have like an iron ballast or driver. Now, these machines or these components are basically in the old traditional machines. So sometimes you'll see a machine that's made in the 80s and it's still going well, it's still shining bright. That will be an iron ballast, okay? One way how to tell if it's an iron ballast, apart from it being 20, 30 years old, it'll actually have a starter. So if any machine has a starter, it's got an iron ballast, okay? The future. These have already been banned, unfortunately. And this is for all the manufacturers. So all our machines that had starters, all the machines that had iron ballast have been changed over to something called electronic ballast. So first of all, they're energy saving, which is good. It's basically what we want, isn't it, to be saving energy. 20% versus iron, great, not bad. Longevity. And then this is where it gets really interesting. Well, I say interesting, might not be interesting to you, but I find it quite interesting. Like a lot of these things, you give with one hand and then they take with another. So yes, it's 20% saving. However, after 5 or 6 years, the ballast will go. Okay? So in one hand, you're saving energy, but what do we really want? Do we want to reduce our carbon footprint? Do we want to reduce waste? So it's very, very important. One way to tell the difference, obviously it won't have a starter after 5 or 6 years. If you've got any machines that are out there and it starts to discolour, it might not be the bulb, okay? It could be the ballast, so bear that in mind. How old is that machine? And another way to tell is when you turn it on, the lamp actually just flicks straight on. There's no kick, there's no, if you know what I mean, that's very technical. Just comes straight on. So the future ballasted drivers. So there is a reason why I'm going down this route. All the machines, all the manufacturers asked to go to test house to have these electronic ballasts fitted. Interestingly for me, there are a couple of traditional lamps that actually has an electronic ballast in them. This is the Edison screw E27 or E14. I did some training a couple of years ago, and some of you may know this, some of you may not, and I showed this picture, and the gentleman said to me, I hate it when you send me those lamps with those bags on. So it takes me ages to cut them off and put them in. So those of you who don't know, the bag is there to make it shatterproof. So if it breaks, it's contained in that bag, okay? So the guy was paying more for shatterproof lamps, cutting them off, and they were still standard. So Barrettine LED lamps or Bauer LED lamps. Three-year UV life, okay, so good, less waste. Uses up to 70% less energy, good. Shatter resistant, these are all shatter resistant as standard. And it's a familiar construction. A lot of you will recognise the 15 or 18-inch lamps, exactly the same, 2 pins either side. Click it in, click, click, good to go. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Maybe I'm getting sad or overexcited. The ballast is actually in the LED, okay? So every 3 years, when you change this lamp, guess what? You're changing the ballast. So you've got that longevity. That's why we give a 5-year guarantee, and we could give a 10-year on our machines, because there's nothing that can actually go wrong. It's just a casing with wires. So anything that can go wrong is being changed. We took this very, very seriously. From a sales point of view, we want to sell machines, of course we do, but do we want to reduce our carbon footprint? Do we want to supply a machine that every 5 years you either have to throw away or send back to us to put a new ballast in? So we like to think we've ticked the majority of the boxes. So the LED, David, that's great. What's the big deal? So I'm telling you it's 70% saving. But what does that actually mean? Now, obviously, we're in September now. Energy prices have gone up, but this is a good starting point. It will be more than this now. So I've done a like for like, a 2 15 watt 18-inch machine. Okay, it'd be burning about 35 watts. Okay. Again, it will be more than this now, but for the argument's sake, that traditional machine will be burning about 100. Wow, that's expensive. £1.76 per week, which works out £91.92 per annum. LEDs, these guys here. 14 watts. Well, actually, it's got more coverage than the 2-lamp traditional machine. 71p per week. 36.92 per annum per machine. So a saving of 54, again that'll be more than that now, but you can start to see some of the benefits of using an LED machine. And if you can imagine, you've got a customer that might have 50 machines or 100 machines, the savings are going to be colossal. And then after a while, a couple of years, they pay for themselves, and then the rest is gravy. All our Insector Clear machines and LED machines are all British built. So with that, we give a 5-year guarantee. We've got various designs. I like to think we've ticked every box apart from an explosion proof. So we've got the high tension grid machine. We've got a discrete machine. IP rated. We all know what IP rated means? Yeah? No? So wet areas or dusty areas, okay, depending on the IP rated. So any sort of electrical equipment outside, plugs for caravans, things like that, those fixings will have an IP rated on them. Rapid service time as well, so it's a lift and lock, easy peasy. So opportunities, where should we be looking for these opportunities? Is your customer ISO 14001? Now I know about ISO 14001 because Barrettine, who I used to work for, have the ISO 14001, and this is all about sustainability, carbon footprint. So if your customer is ISO 14001, they should be using LED fly killers. What's the company image? Have they got a green image? You know, they're saying all our fleets are green, you know, we're going full electric. Great, you should be using LED. Do they want to reduce their impact and their waste on the environment? They should be using LED. New install, new facility, it's a great opportunity to say, look, if you use an LED, it's the same price as a traditional machine, but you'll be saving X, Y, Z because you need so many machines. Upgrade existing or 40 machines, LED. Long-term cost savings, LED. And again, as I said, eventually traditional lamps will be phased out. Okay? But it's not squeaky bum time. We do have a few years, but it's something for you to consider or at least offer to your customers. I said I'm scratch record now, but yeah, 5-year guarantee. Very, very important. I know some smart ass is going to say, does that include the glue board? No, it doesn't include the glue board or the lamp. It's the machine itself, 5-year guarantee. Does the customer want an IP, so wet areas? Do they want a grid machine or a discrete machine? And we'll go through some of these machines. So this is a discrete LED wall fly. Now, you will be given customer feedback forms. Is that right? Yeah. If you all fill them out, you will be in a draw to win a stainless steel LED wall fly worth £154, I think it is. Stainless steel. Make sure you fill those out. Make sure you give me a good report as well. These chaps here, discrete, available in white or stainless. 1 times 7 watt LED. So this guy here covers 100 square meters, 5-year guarantee. So there's going to be a bit of repetitiveness in this, but we've got quite a range of IP rated, so wet areas and dusty areas, predominantly wet areas. Glue 5, which is one of these, stainless steel. These are very, very popular on cruise ships. Glue 10, which is 7 watts. Glue 15, which is 9 watts. This is one machine that has a slightly different lamp to this, longer. Vulcan 8. Here, this is just for demonstration purposes. This actually isn't an IP rated machine, but it's the one image that I had, but you can get to see the actual machine as it is. Other LED machines, I will just quickly go through this. Nano, G4, white and stainless, 2 lamps, wall mounted, suspended or freestanding, 100 square meters, 5-year guarantee. Vulcan 6, stainless, lift and lock, and that's what I like about this. I've done a lot of servicing of machines. And if you are up a ladder, you've got to service your machine. There's nothing worse. You've got bulbs here, you've got boards here, and you get to the machine and you've got to take the front panel off. And it's like, well, I've got to put that between my legs. And so with this, it's lift and lock, nice and easy. Familiar construction, click, 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 done. Board in, out. Because that's what I like about this. Can anyone tell me what is the most expensive thing on any treatment? You. Yeah, you guys. If we can shave off a few minutes here or there, so much better. You could be looking for other opportunities on the next job, etc. 7-watt lamps, wall mounted, 100 square meters glue board. We do have a grid, high tension grid machine, which is great. We will also be having an IP rated, IPX5, so it's not dust, it's water, zapper LED coming very, very soon. So, in a nutshell, white light will be banned between February and August next year, okay? I'm going to keep saying this, and I'm a scratch record, I know, but again, that's the manufacture and import. People can still sell. Single-ended, 2025. Double-ended, February 2027. Again, it's the manufacture and import. We can still sell thereafter. Like we might get to 2027 and say we might stock up 3 years stock, depending on how we're going. So you've got that buffer. So it's not going to be shop's closed. You've got to change everything over. So you've got time. Ballast in the lamps, 3-year life. Like I say, we like to think we've covered most bases apart from explosion proof, but we very, very rarely get asked for that. Thank you very much for listening. Any questions?
Is the LED better at drawing in than the standard UV?
Yeah, well, the feedback is yes. The UV output actually has a 20% more UVA output than traditional lamps. So the feedback from customers are they're actually catching more flies. But again, like all
normally catches all the fruit flies typically don't end up in a fly machine, but they do with these.
We've had some fruit fly, but I can't say yes, this is for fruit fly. But we have had some.
I can say that it is because we've got an LED the Vulcan 6
loading
bay in central London where flies were everywhere, they wouldn't clean up properly, and the machines I had weren't working, so we bought these and immediately the boards were full.
Give them £10 later, yeah?
Yeah,
give them £10 later.
Outside, yeah.
Oh,
but seriously, the numbers we accused were catching immediately, although they were the yellow Corex boards.
Oh, that'll help draw them in, yeah.
So maybe that was the benefit as well.
Just one quick thing, when you are servicing these, most of you are going to know this, the only way you can get this wrong is when you put the LED strip in, make sure it's facing out and not facing the board.
Tom, those, that double-ended LED there you've got there,
yeah.
Is that obsolete in 5 years?
No, sorry, that was traditional lamps that I was talking about. So these are the way future, the way forward. But we've made this so it's familiar to you guys. Some French?
Your comparison page that you showed us, where you compare the prices, is that available as a download so we can use it as a sales aid? Yeah,
what I can do is if you speak to Barrettine or Will, I'm sure you've got their details. They will be able to, I'll forward it to them and they can forward it to you. It's no problem at all. Anything from here that you would like, let me know. If it helps you as a sales aid, yeah, absolutely.